This tutorial is powered by AskQuesty.com. Get help with your website on demand. And don't forget, subscribe for more tutorials.
Hi everyone, so as quickly as I can, I'm going to try to explain and give you some tips on good SEO practices for WordPress and in creating posts and pages. Now this video could only be less than 15 minutes long, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I'll include as many notes as I can in the comments to help you out and kind of refresh you on some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. Mainly, we're going to be talking about good practices when you're building out your posts and pages. But firstly, I want to talk to you about when you're building out a site, some good practices that you need to follow, as well as certain things that you need to do for your WordPress in order to increase your SEO. Now, SEO is a huge topic. There's a lot of factors that go into good SEO. It's not just adding keywords to a post or a blog anymore. You know, your page speed goes into factor. There's technical SEO off page, on page. There's a lot of different things that go into SEO. And now Google changes their algorithms almost daily when it comes to how they rank and what they use to factor in to ranking a page in their SERPs. So the first thing you want to look at, so if you're building out a page or you're building out your site, you're going to want to make sure that your site is marked to discourage crawlers from indexing your site, okay? You don't want this to be unchecked. Usually it will be by default checked if you're building out your page and you have a coming soon active. As you can see, I do mine. So if you go into your settings and you go into reading, you're going to see this, search engine visibility. You're going to want to make sure this is checked. If you're building out your site, you're doing customization to your site, it's not ready to launch yet, make sure that's checked. But if your site is live and it's ready to go, and you're just looking to, help out your posts and your new pages when you're building them out and help the SEO on those, then make sure this is unchecked. So, search engines can actually start indexing your site, okay? Another thing you want to look at is your permalinks. You're not going to want to do this on a live site if at all possible. They give you a warning when you go into the permalinks. Changing your permalink settings can seriously impact your search engine visibility. This is 100% true. You should not do this on a live site if you can avoid it, okay? But by default, the default way that your URL structure is shown in WordPress is not the most SEO friendly. I would recommend just doing post name. So if you're just building out a site currently, change this as fast as you can. If it's just showing the post name, this is great for SEO because it's going to show the post name and therefore hopefully it's going to show your keywords and it's going to be able to add your content where it thinks it's most relevant. Okay, having just the page ID there is not helpful to search engines, so avoid that one if possible. Okay, so I usually use post name. You can use whatever you want, honestly. But I think this is probably one of the best ones to use for SEO purposes. Okay, there's a couple of things that we can address, and I'm going to add this to the comments. Again, I don't want to make this video too long. You're going to want to make sure that the site speed of your WordPress is at a good place. You can check this on GT metrics. You can also check this in the inspector tools for Lighthouse to see how fast your site is on both desktop and mobile. Google has been going for a mobile-friendly approach for a while now. So mobile speed and mobile friendliness and mobile experience is super, super important for SEO. So you're going to want to follow whatever suggestions those have for you. It might say that you need to minimize or defer some JavaScript. There's plugins that can help you do that, or you might need to get a developer to help you with that. But you can add some caching plugins. I'll add those to the comments of what I think are some really good caching plugins. Pretty much what that's going to do is someone goes to your site, they come back to it again. They're going to see a cached version of your site. So what that does is it's pretty much a snapshot of what your site is. So it doesn't have to reload all this content again for them. And it's going to help this, the page speed as well as help the user experience. So I recommend adding a caching plugin. As well as you're going to want to look at optimizing your images. Make sure you're serving scaled images, images that aren't too big, that fit their containers so they don't have to readjust so much. when you have your first page refresh, you're not going to see a big image that shrinks down to its container, okay? You got to want to make sure that they're the correct size for their containers. That's going to help your SEO greatly. I'll also include in the comments some good optimization plugins that you can add to help with that as well, okay? There's also some really great SEO plugins. I'll add those comments below. SEO plugins help you do some things that you might not want to do on the back end, like add a robots.txt file, add a sitemap, etc. So those are great to add. It also gives you some pointers and when you're building out posts and pages. Right now I have Yoast SEO in my site right now. This is a development site. There's a little bit misconception of what SEO plugins do. They don't, you're not going to add a bunch of keywords and then, the SEO plugin works its magic and you're on, going to start ranking for these keywords. What they're going to do though is help you see what you need to do in order to optimize your content in order to start ranking. Okay, so say you're missing an H1 title tag, maybe you don't have enough content, etc. So that's what they're going to do. They're not, a magic solution to SEO, but they definitely help when it comes to SEO and you finding how to optimize your posts and pages to be better or ready to rank in the SERPs, okay? So I'm going to include some of those plugins in the comments as well so you can kind of see how they work. And one other thing that you could do to help with your speed is add a CDN, a content delivery network. Cloudflare is a great one. They have a free option. Another one that you might want to check out is Max CDN. What this does is it serves a cached version of your static resources, such as a lot of JavaScript or a lot of CSS, and it serves it to the user. It serves it on a server that's closest to them. Therefore, it's going to help your page speed, okay? So I recommend adding a CDN, especially if your site is very JavaScript or very customized or very image heavy. This is great. A CDN is great to help with that page speed. When in regards to posts and building out good posts or pages for SEO, there's a few good practices that you want to look at, okay? You want to make sure you have one and only one H1 tag. Usually you don't have to add this to the text editor. If you add the title in the page itself or in the post itself, that's going to be considered your H1 tag. If not, it kind of depends on your theme and how you have things set up in your theme. You might or may not have to add it. But you want to check that. There's a lot of free SEO websites that you can check that for. It'll tell you if you're missing H1 tag or not. In your H1 tag, which is usually, reserved for your title, you're going to want to make sure you include your keyword, make sure it's relevant to the content. Also, you want to add keywords or synonyms to a subheading such as an H2 or H3 tag. And also you're going to want to make sure those keywords are in the body. And usually you want to keep your relevant keywords in the first 100 words of your post or your page. Okay, so if you have a couple keywords, say you want to rank for the 10 best photographers in Chicago, that's going to be your title. You're going to also want that to be in your body somewhere, maybe kind of written a little bit differently. And you're also going to want it in like an H2 tag as well. So you want to make it relevant. You don't want to throw in just a bunch of keywords into your content and expect to rank for it, okay? Google has gotten a lot smarter, as well as these other search engines. They've gotten a lot smarter at how they rank things and determine if the content on a post or a page is relevant enough to show in their SERPs. So they're a lot smarter. They're not just going to go for, the old practice of keyword stuffing, a bunch of keywords in the meta description and meta titles, okay? And then you get ranked for it. They're looking for relevant content that's well thought out, well formatted, and they're going to see it, and then they're going to show it to the user where they believe is most relevant in the SERPs, okay? So I recommend around 2,000 words for post content. Content is still king when it comes to SEO. The more content you have, the better. That's relevant. Again, that's the keyword. Make sure it's relevant content and not just filler text. Images are great for, making things look pretty, but make sure you don't have it's not just images. You want to make sure you definitely have a lot of text and words there as well. If you are using images, make sure you're using all image tags. You're adding them. You can add them right into your media. Or you can, when you import it into a post, you can also add it there. If I go to a page, you're going to see alternative text. Google and other search engines do not see images. What they do see is text, okay? So this is what they're going to see when it sees that image block. So you want to make sure this is descriptive, this is relevant to what the image is, as well as you could even, if you can, add a keyword to the alternative text. This can also help your SEO. A couple other things when it comes to posts and pages, you want to add some internal links to your post page. Maybe you have a relevant post that can link to the post that you're creating. Make sure you add that. But what you don't want to do is have that image there and just say, oh, this is a post that I have on this topic, click here. And that, the link is in click here, okay? You want that anchor text to be descriptive and relevant to what you're linking to. And that's also going to help your SEO. If you're linking to external pages and you're unsure about their trust or domain authority, and you're not really wanting to associate yourself with their site because it might hurt your SEO, make sure you always add a no refer tag to it. Again, that's a little out of the scope of this video. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments here. But you're going to want to make sure there's no refer tags on any external links that you have that you're unsure of that could be detrimental to your SEO. And I believe make sure there's no broken links. That's a huge one as well. You're going to want to make sure that, all the links on your page are active. If you have broken links, make sure you, through one, redirect them properly so there's no broken links on your page. Lastly, you want to make sure there's a robots.txt file as well as a sitemap file. And with the sitemap file, you're going to want to make sure that you add it to Google Search Console and tell Google, hey, this is my new site, please index it. So if you do not have a Google Search Console account or a Google Search or a Google Analytics account, you're going to want to get both of those. So Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Google Search Console for definite because you're going to add your sitemaps there. You're going to tell Google that, hey, my site is ready to be indexed. So they're going to put you, in line to be indexed and to be shown in the SERPs, or maybe you've adjusted your site or changed a lot of things. You're going to want to re-add the new sitemap to Google Search Console. And what they're going to do, they're going to search through it, and you're also going to be able to see any crawl errors that are on your website. If you have any crawl errors on there, you're going to want to make sure you fix them accordingly so you have the best chances of ranking effectively in the SERPs. Okay, so there's some basic tips on how to SEO optimize your site. I hope that helps, and have a great day.
Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please subscribe. And if you need extra help, visit AskQuesty.com and send us your questions.